Over to you, Maddie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Welcome to myosh webinars today. My name is Maddie, as Sarah was saying, and I am a consultant and trainer for myosh. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have attended our most recent presentations, we've done a series of webinars on contractor management, finalizing in our presentation of some updates to our own contractor management module. So if you don't already have this module, or if you own this module already, there are some really exciting changes coming soon. So over the past month or so, our configurators and consultants have been working hard and brainstorming with some of our clients who use the contractor management module extensively. And we've gotten some really amazing feedback to be able to implement some changes to improve it and add some more features and usability. So this morning, I'm going to go through with you the module as a whole and highlight the additions we have made along the way. And I really want to impress upon you that, like everything else in myosh, this module is extremely configurable and can be changed or have changes made to it, depending on the type of system you've purchased or if you're currently looking at one. As it stands, there are two versions of the contractor management module. We simply dub them as basic and advanced, and the easiest way to understand the difference is both versions are exactly the same in terms of the data that you can record. The only difference is that the basic module needs to have the data input by one of your company's employees. And the advanced version, you can send an email invitation to the contractor, who will then have access to their specific record and can upload the necessary documentation, answer questions, and fill in their information. So it will save a lot of admin time on your end as well. But this will become more apparent as I go through the module. So let's have a look at what this looks like. So when we're adding a new contractor into the system, we simply press on the new record button, and it starts off super simple with two sections. So I'm going to pop in my example company, which I've called Phantom Drilling. And then we can put in their ABN, or if you want to forego a Google search, you can pop in NA and they can do it on their end as well. So here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. Is contractor pre-approval required? So when you select yes, this will expand a couple more sections for us to fill in. So the first question that it asks is, what is their risk profile? So we've got a couple of examples in here, being the medium, high, and extreme. What I mentioned before with this being really configurable is these are just basic sets of questions that the contractor will have to answer on their end. So I'm going to choose medium, for example, but in my other tab here, I've got the administration section behind the contractor management module. And I can see the medium, high, and extreme question sets here. So these are the questions that are in here by default. But if you think some of these aren't relevant to you, or if you want to add some more in, you can edit these as well. So it might be that you have, or you are a housing company, so you're a home builder. So rather than having medium, high, and extreme, you might say plumbing, electricians, flooring, things like that. So they would have different risk questions associated with that particular industry. Your contract coordinator is by default is who I'm logged in as, but this you can assign to anybody in the company. This is the person that will receive any of the communications for this specific contractor. So what I mean by communications, that might be an email notification saying that they have input documentation for you to review. It might be that their insurances have expired, or maybe one of their employees' certifications needs renewing, anything like that. So they will receive the notifications for those things. You can also choose whether or not you specifically want them to upload these types of insurances. And again, you can change these or add more if you'd like to as well. And then you can also upload documents for them to review. So if you've uploaded these documents before into your contractor module, you can press the select button. It will open up a list that you can choose from that you've uploaded before. So I'm just going to add a couple of these in. We would then add them into the selected field and submit them into the record. If you haven't uploaded them before into your system, you can simply press the log new button and add them in, and then you can use them later on as well. So from here, you can invite your contractor. So this will open up a template where you can add their email address in, and it will send them a registration link. So once we submit this into the system, it will move into the part 2 of some ones that I've made previously for you, the pending contractor action. So once they've registered with that link through the email invitation, they'll have access to this particular record, and they can add in all of their information on their side. So we can scroll through here. They've added their ABN. We can see that they've selected, well, we have selected that we want them to upload these types of insurances. So you can say, yes, I have that. I'm going to upload it here. Or yes, I have motor vehicle one. I'm going to upload it here. And you can see these dates here. And these expiry dates is what I was talking about before, is this, when this occurs, Angela is going to receive a notification saying that their public liability insurance needs renewing. They can also add in their business details. So whether a sole trader, add any authorized representatives. So who's responsible for this contractor business and their details, and then their nature of work and services. And again, you can change these, take them out, add them in, whatever you like, and give their scope of work and tasks. So these 3 documents were the ones that we uploaded just before in the draft stage. And we do now have an acknowledgement button that we didn't previously have. And this is mandatory before they can submit this record. So below this, along with the question sets that we said before, so before I selected medium risk, we do also get the generic risk questions that would apply to everyone. And then of course, medium risk would stack on top of that and add some extra ones for this particular category. So they can go through and answer all of these, yes or no, or not applicable if that's for their particular industry. And then below here, we can add in their employees. So simply pressing the log new button and adding in their details and maybe their occupation. This is really good because this means you can put this specific person into other records, maybe incident modules or training records. So if I have a look at this below, if you have the online learning module, you can add a link in here to an induction that these employees are required to do before they are allowed on site. You can also add in training as well. So if an employee has a specific certification, you can upload these in here. And if you have the training records module, this one here, you will actually get a separate form for contractor training record. So you can keep an eye on these all at once. So this is all of your contractors all in one place. So maybe you can see as a whole if any of them need renewing. And if you want to specifically look at a certain company, you can look at their contractor record. So either looking at them as a whole or looking at them and drilling down into a specific company. So you can do that as well. Something else that we've added, which is really cool, is your COVID-19 vaccinations. So up here, I have 5 of my employees, and we've got 4 that are fully vaccinated. So if we want to add in Liam, who's the one that is missing, I can simply add log new, type in his name. Since he's an employee in the system, he will come up. We can say, oh, he had AstraZeneca, and he's a little bit late to the party, so he's only got his first dose. So every time you click on one of these doses, it will expand a completion date for you to choose. So we can say he got it last week. If he had all 3, you can attach his certification down below, and we can submit this into the system. So because he's only had 1 vaccine out of the 3, when this loads back up, it will say, partially vaccinated. And again, if you have the COVID-19 vaccination register module, you will have a separate section for the contractor register as well. So you can view these as a whole rather than just a specific company. So below this, you have any documents that the contractor needs to submit. So in this case, we've got their safety policy, and you can upload as many of these, well, the contractor can on their side, upload as many as they like. And I'm going to just skip past this for a moment. So once they press submit, it would move into pending contractor action into their review stage. So this is by far the easiest stage, because if we have a look at all of these as when they're open, me as Angela Adminson, I'm going to look through all of their details, all the things that they've uploaded, have a look at their answers to their risk questions, and their certifications. And then we got a new section called review. So with all of that information, I can use these questions to evaluate whether or not I want to accept or reject this particular contractor and have an ongoing relationship with them. So once you approve them into your system, it moves into the final stage, which is your approved stage. And we've added in a couple of extra sections in here to evaluate your ongoing relationship. So when we have a look at the things that we've added, sorry, my internet is very slow this morning. We have at the bottom, past all of the things we've done before, we have feedback to and from the contractor. So this allows you to add in comments, allows the contractor to add comments, or yourself or anyone in your company. And this is really great because you can kind of have a chronological order of dialogue between the two companies. This is really great because it stops you from having to scroll through hundreds of emails. It's all here in nice one area, and they can see how they're doing. We've also added in the performance evaluation section, which this might be really handy to do via project. So if you're a housing company, it might be per house. If, for instance, this is a drilling and rigging company, so it might be per rig. You might want to do this once a year, once every 6 months, once a month, but we can log new performance evaluations. So with this, again, you can change what these questions are and maybe what the answer set is as well. But for the moment, we've just got a very sort of generic and vague set of questions. Oh, it's really struggling here. But the answer set that we have for the moment is for every question that's asked, the answers are either needs improvement or achieved expectations. And again, you can change those as well. Ooh, mine is really struggling today. Let's see if I can open or just refresh this. So for every, oh, sorry, my server's lost connection. Let's have a look. So for every single question that you answer, it will collapse a question for if you want to add more details into that. So for instance, if they asked, did they have timely like finishes for their projects or anything like that, and you said no or needs improvement, you can add in comments to that specific question to be able to support why you've given that answer. All right, let's have a look if it's going to load up for me now. Oh, that was straight away. Fantastic. So here we have evaluation. So if I say needs improvement, I can say, oh, here's more details for this specific question. And if we go all the way down to the bottom, we are given a score. And we also have different sections here. So public comments. So you can comment on the performance evaluation as a whole, or you can do it for individual questions, like I said before. And then you also have invisible comments. So if you want to add in comments that your contractors can't see, then you can do that here as well. So if you added in, oh, really great work for 2022, give themselves a bit of a pat on the back. Otherwise, they can look at the things that they need improvement for. And you can also upload attachments here if you need more supporting documentation. We've also added in a a widget into your dashboard for performance evaluations. So having a look here, we can see for specific companies how they've done, or as a whole, see if anyone's kind of an outlier. So if I just wanted to look at Deco Build, I can see, oh, yeah, they're generally around above 70%, which is great. So we're going to continue on that relationship with them as well. The last thing that we've added in to our contractor management module, which I'm super excited about, is our linked records. So you can link an action to this particular contractor by pressing log new. You can also link incidents. So this is really, really great to get an overall view of what this contractor is responsible for. So you'll notice here that there is not a log new button for linked incidents. And we've done this because we wanted to keep it as familiar as possible for all users of your company, maybe not ones that are generally responsible for contractors. So in your, log me out, we've got tight security today. In your incidents module, you have just your standard form that you're already very well used to. When you go and log a new incident and you've chosen things like your classification and your dates and things like that, it has the question of, was a third party involved? And when you select yes to this, it expands a new section called third party details. And if you select in the type that it was a contractor or subcontractor that was involved, you can press select and you've got a list of all of your available contractors come up. So it may be if several of them were involved in an incident together, you can select more than one, add them into your selected, and you can submit them into this incident form. So when this incident gets submitted, that will be linked back into your contractor record. So you can see everything that is related to this contractor here in one place. So it's all really nice and consolidated. So I think this really turns more of a register into a management system. And that is everything that we've added into your contractor management module. So as a quick summary, we can add a contractor into our system, invite them to fill in their details and supply documentation, COVID vaccination certificates, employee certifications, review, approve, evaluate, and link them into other important modules such as incidents, training, and vaccinations for a more rounded view of their contribution to your company. But thank you so much for listening to my overview. I'm going to open the floor back up to Sarah and Adrian for any questions that have come through. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Maddie. That was great. There are a few questions about the video. Yes, it'll be ready later today. We'll send it to your email. Please check your spam. And there are a few links I've just put in the chat. The first one is a very quick survey. We'd like to know how we go with the webinars. The second one is a myosh free trial. If you're not already using myosh, you can fill that in and we'll send you a platform to play with. And the third one is booking a 15-minute overview. So you can just select a time and then we'll get you in contact with a consultant to do an overview. So I do have a question from Janice. Is this system available to businesses in New Zealand? I think, Adrian, you'll answer the questions.
Yep, simply yes. So it can be available in any country and multiple countries. So yep, absolutely. Right. So nice simple one to start with.
Well, we don't have any more at the moment. Is there anything you want to add to Maddie's demonstration, Adrian?
Yeah, there is actually. There's a lot of new functionality that's in the pipeline and will be added. There's things like tight integration with online learning. So we've had requirements from some companies where contractors just turn up and they just need to do an induction. You don't have any record of them. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often, but we now actually have functionality in our new online learning module where you can have a QR code sitting at the front desk. They can scan the QR code and actually do the course. And then you've got a record of at least that they've actually turned up and done a course if they're allowed to in that particular case. The other functionality that's coming in the near future is integration with a visitor sign-in or a contractor sign-in module. So basically, each of those people that Maddie added into the system could be also sent a QR code. So when they scan that QR code at an iPad, say at the front desk or wherever it's placed, it's a record that they've actually entered and also a record that they've actually left. So you could then look at things like do their entry and leave times correspond with what they've actually invoiced you for and those sorts of things. So we're constantly adding new features to the product. We're constantly adding new modules. And one of the nice things about the system is that all of the modules within the system, be it inspections or whatever, can actually be integrated with the contractor management module. It's a very, very simple matter of adding a link field into the module to be able to say, I want to link the inspections that they've been involved in or done or whatever it might be, just like we did with the incidents that Maddie showed you today. Sarah, I'll hand back to you.
Michelle asks, is the training management system compatible with SCORM?
Yes, absolutely. So basically it's compatible with SCORM. So you can take your existing SCORM files and actually upload them into the course, into the LMS. Also, your typical user can, so people can do courses unauthenticated, but they can also be people within the company where they can see the courses that they've started, that are or haven't started or have completed, and it can also automatically create enroll them in courses. Say they have to do the induction in a year's time again, or some other course. It can also schedule that automatically as well, so they can do it.
Okay. No more questions for the moment. I'll just reiterate, if you want any free trials or overviews or like to give us some feedback about the webinar, please put that in the links are, sorry, in the chat there. So let me just check these questions. We're just about on time. So there's no more questions. Yes, the video will come out later. Every time I say there's no more questions, we know there's always more. Thank you, Maddie, today. That was fantastic. And Adrian, thanks for joining us too. So I think we'll wrap it up, and everyone knows that the recording will come out later by email. So thanks, everyone. Hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.